Hi there guys, and welcome back to another Train Sim 2016 video. This time again we're on the North Clyde line, on the West Coast Main Line North. But today we're in old school favourite of mine, Class 303, and this is with the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack, which also updates the physics and allows it to be DOO as well. In my opinion, it's not worth driving this if you don't have the sound pack with it. It's fine for AI, but it's not worth driving. So it's well worth getting the Armstrong Powerhouse pack for $4.99. It's a bargain. So let's get started. Good afternoon, driver. The year is 2002, and you are driving one of the fabled Class 303 sets from Springburn to Milngavie, calling at all stations. Enjoy this drive, as these units will be gone by the end of the year. Okay, so I've already got my guy set up in there. Let's unpause it. Let's get in. Let's put some headlights on. That's really all we have to do for this. Lovely old train. We'll put some passengers on there. Let's just have a quick look at the timetable. So we're leaving here on 14:03. It's a long set about, so I'll show you the rest of the train really. Gives us time. And then we'll be at Milngavie at 14:45. It's about a 45-minute journey. I don't know this route until we get basically to Queen Street, and then I'll know the rest of the way from there, which is alright actually. Nice. Right, let's have a little look at the 303 while we've got time. It's one single high intensity headlight. It has got marker lights there, but I don't know if they're controllable. No, can't seem to do anything with them. Do have instrument lights. So they were quite cool looking, considering these were what, 1950 something or other. The great big bogies they had on them. I think they were all the Gracely type bogies, if I remember rightly. So these were one of the first electric locomotives, or electric multiple units basically, in and around Britain. What have we got there? 156. Oh, this was the right way round as well. That's actually in the ScotRail 2000 livery, which was never one of my favourites. The 170s weren't too bad when they got delivered in it. So it was 1960, I think, was the first 303, and they sort of stayed in Scotland until they got moved to the Crewe Manchester line. I think that was like right at the end of their careers. 124 tons, maximum speed is 75 miles an hour, 829 horsepower according to this. Oh yeah, Gracely ET3, and the motor ones are ED3s. And then they had multiple working with the 311s. I have no idea about the 311s, I only heard about them while I was doing the research for this. So I'm going to have a look at them. I know there is actually one still available. It looks like we have control of the doors with DOO. Excellent. Got the road. So with the Armstrong Powerhouse pack, it drives a bit more like real life, so you can't just cut down the power. So I can't go into step 3 or 2 now. You have to go back to off and then back up again. So the way the taps work, it is a tap changer. So you've got one which is shunt, which is your minimal. I think it was like the first 12. Oh, I'm looking at the speed, silly out. I will do one video where I don't speed, I promise. It's like 1 to 12, up to 12 is the second notch. The third will basically run it all the way up to its full power, but 4 puts it to weak field, which means you can speed it again, stupidity, I put it back into the power. Weak field, which gives you faster acceleration, and still gets you up to full power. So in theory you could stick it in notch 3 and just leave it, and that would take you up to full power, but Wakefield gives you that extra bit of acceleration. And I don't claim to understand it, series, parallel, Wakefield, but it is something I've slightly kind of got my head around to a point. Ooh, bit of sand on the tracks there. So I'm pretty sure we are only a 3 car today. I did have a look before yeah. And again, it's that typical optional powerhouse thing with the compressors. And these things were, like, sitting inside them, that is what they sounded like. There was nothing, you'd hear that compressor in silence. Sometimes you'd be standing by the doors of these and the compressor would kick in and you'd absolutely cack your pants. And the rest of it was just completely silent. I would love it if they'd put an openable window in so you could hear the sounds a bit better. That would have been me happy as Larry with this. Check that one actually. So this has got the electric pneumatic brake. So this should be familiar to all those that like to drive in the southern region stuff. Works the same way. So you go up to 50%, you could reduce it. Above that, you have to go back down to off and then back on again. I've got no idea what this cab control panel is. I'm going to have to look it up. It looks bloody interesting though. Like some sort of 2 signal box. What does that say there? Area, setup. Can't really read what's the from signal box. So some sort of communication thing that's quite light. I have to really look it up. Keep an eye on my speed. Window gradient. Just lack of my route knowledge again showing me up. So 303s were just sort of part of Glasgow really. When they first came into service they were blue, so they were still sort of known as the blue trains. That's what my gran used to call them as well, even though they were bright orange by this time. If you look on YouTube at some old footage of them, you can see they had glass windows behind the cabs as well, so you could see forward, and they used to have sort of wraparound front windows where we're looking at of now. Used to actually wrap around to the right hand side. You can probably see where it was on here, to be fair. We've come right around to like there, and like to there, so you have a lot better visibility. I think they were pretty dangerous and they got rid of them for the square round cornered safety glass. Same as the Clacton units as well. What were they, 309s? They had similar, quite a few, the Transpennine units. I don't know if they were around long enough to get the new windows. They had that sort of wrap around at the front bit. There is a 303 preserved at the Bowness, the Kinneil Railway, that I will one day go and see. I still sort of expect to see them. Oh, that sounds weird. sorry looking unit sitting in Glasgow Central. They were never bloody clean, they were always filthy. Still really getting used to the brakes on these as well. We've got red there. Love the warning horn. The guard bell's hilarious as well, but I haven't got it on, it's on DIO at the moment. Got to get this braking sorted because it's making me late. It's taking me ages to stop. So we've got a single yellow, which means we're following something. As we're stopping everywhere, I don't think it really matters. I'm going to look this up. So I'm quite satisfied about dropping that brake and kicking that in, both at the same time. I think we actually have an interlock bar. No, it's punch it up. Oh, I can't push the signal bell. Oh, I can. It's C, so I can let you hear that. This is a site of a pretty nasty accident. Really struggling with the brakes there, mainly because I wasn't paying attention. So the Belgrave accident was caused by what's called a ding-dinging away. So as the driver, their guard gave the buzzer code of 2 buzzers to go, the driver went, slammed into another train. Quite a few people died in that one as well. There was something about the way they were signalling trains to pass over tracks ahead of the stations to try and fit more in. And I think it was like 2 or 3 accidents. Caused by a similar thing. It was ding-dinging away and the way they signalled them, so they went back to how they used to be signalled. So it was, yeah, March 1989, 2 deaths. On this route. It's a springburn branch, that's where we've just come off, so it was probably that route we just actually came off there. Single lead junction track layout, that's the words I was looking for. Same as the Newton rail crash as well, that was caused by the same. What have we got there? 320. High Street. Oh, it's just gone green. So the next station after this will be Queen Street, low level. But I think Queen Street's due to open again soon. It's been closed recently for a full refurb and new station throats, and all the entrances are all going to be different. And looks like some mad work they've been doing. So the last couple of times I've been going up to Glasgow, I've just been getting on at Edinburgh, getting the train through to Milngavie. So instead of taking the Glasgow to Edinburgh route, which is quicker to be fair, I'll take the route via sort of Airdrie and all that way. That'll be a double yellow. Single yellow. That's got green again. Something on the right coming through there. What's that going to be? Another 303 with the carmine and cream livery, which I've already said isn't my favourite. Smoking on trains. Those were the days. I've actually very recently given up smoking. Part of the reason of doing these videos actually was me giving up smoking. So I do kind of miss it. And smoking on trains is always pretty cool. Carriages used to absolutely stink. I remember going up to Scotland, it was always the coach nearest the loco on the 91 sets, Mark 4s. It was just a little compartment by the end of it, and God, it used to stink. There's no way I could do it these days, I don't reckon. And as kids, my mum used to sit us there. Terrible, isn't it? When I was old enough to, I think I only ever booked a seat in the smoking section once. The rest of the time I'd sort of just nip up there and have a fag and then go back. the sack a million times over if I was a real driver. What I do like about the 303 is the position where the horn is. I wonder where it was originally and why it was moved. Getting a bit hot here. Bit too hot. Saying that, stopped quite well just at 70%, which it would, I suppose, but I'll try and come in a bit hotter next time. I wonder if it was here. I know some of the earlier DMUs had it like on a weird bit down here, like the 101s and stuff. Originally had them vertically down here. So maybe these did the same. I don't know who built these. I did have the Wikipedia up for them earlier. I've got a sneaking suspicion it was Birmingham Railway Carriage Works. Or was it Press Steel? Let's get another one. A bit of Linwood, with Press Steel. So they were Scottish built. So they made the 117s as well. I think they hung about for quite a bit of the 117s. Down the Chiltern lines in the western region. Also built an aircraft called the Beagle. Just looking at it, it's quite a half decent looking plane. I had a little fiddle with the graphics settings, I still can't seem to get this to do anything. I should really read the README. It's another little improvement I'd like to see on the West Coast Mainline North route. If anybody did have the guts or the time to go through and redo it, is the working neutral sections. I do like them on the West Coast Mainline over Shap. A bit hard and fast again on this one. I love the delay that Armstrong Powerhouse put in. So it should be in real life. hear my headphone cable rubbing against my top, and if I can hear that, you can hear that. So I've tried to sort that out for you. I've had to be a bit funny with the levels because I live right next door to an airport that tests a lot of C-130s, Hercules aircraft, and they like to just sit there with them running at sort of quarter throttle, half throttle, and the odd times full throttle when they're at the test hill. And there is a big sound deadening hill they do it against, but it's in the opposite direction to my house, so it doesn't really work. So if you do hear the drone of turbine engine, that's what it is. It's not a sound effect of this route. If I work out how to fix those graphical bleeds, and it is something I've done, and credit to the author, I will take these videos down and put new ones on of me doing the same routes, because this route is a treat. Oh, not far off with that one. Not far off at all. Yeah. Not bad. Oop. I like to put black writing that just says Strathclyde Passenger Transport instead of this weird logo. Oh, it came about in the 90s. Oh, I should have stayed there and have caught that other one. This is a bit that I find brilliantly modelled. This is like a, I can't work out if it's a mental health hospital or it's sort of elderly dementia, but it does, the buildings look the same. It's well modelled, it's well done. Bit the sticks made. It's got sort of those institution-y grounds. feel I could do with sitting a little bit further back in this cab. Ah, milk bottles. I wonder if a texture pack, or I've not installed something quite right. I might reinstall the route and see how it looks. There's a diesel only platform here at Annisland. I've not ever seen anything in that platform. Dropping the power there, but I'm just going to put it back on because this is a fair old gradient up towards Westerton. Single yellow. Seemed to work. So in this red, it must mean that I haven't got the line. Ah, there we go. Oh, and it's an orange one as well. quite a downhill gradient here. This is us out on the Milngavie branch now. Coming into Bears Den. I think it's the difference between tread brakes and disc brakes. If I just put these on and hammer them, they seem to work a lot better. So sort of fanning them at all, put them on and let them work. Except for the likes of now, when they just don't seem to be kicking in at all. I don't know, maybe I'm running out of air or something. It's twice I went to 100% the brakes. Maybe it was a bit of brake fade. That's what we'll blame the last little instant on. Brake fade. If we can. I don't know if we can. We just pretend we can. So Hillfoot's quite funny. There's a little garage. There's an SO garage or something. A chippy and a few other bits just up there on the road. If we're looking at it now on the right. But that bridge comes over the back of us. And it's sort of this tradition, this unwritten rule that whenever my dad would drive us out to my grandma's, he'd always forgotten to get her something. So we'd always either have to stop and get a card, and even if we didn't have to get a card, we always had to get a bottle of wine. Always. Grandma does like a drink. I blame her, I think most of us do really. Her more than most though. I will be honest, her more than most. Yeah, we just used to always have to. It's like my last chance when I was a kid to try and get some Rizzlers or something before I got there. So I knew I'd be stuck in for the night at least before I could get up to the shop the next day. And if I was lucky, one of my cousins would be around, so at least nip out and have a fag with them. It's weird, isn't it? All those little things you sort of, that a game like this can sort of bring the memories it can sort of bring back just because you go into a similar place. When I first played it, I was genuinely excited, and I still do have that little pang in me now. It's always the end of the journey. As far as I was concerned, up until about 5 years ago, it was the most northerly I'd ever gone in Scotland by train. It was the end of the line. I knew it wasn't, but and this is also where that weird aero train was. I'm sure if you grew up with kids' railway encyclopedias and stuff like I did, you'd have seen it. It should look like a plane with no wings, fuselage with propeller at each end. And that was over this bit of track here that we're on now. Another little bit of trivia for you is that the overhead mast stanchions are actually based on the foundations of the supports for that aero train track thing. All going straight in, nice. Oh, it's a little bit of nostalgia at a 303 pulling into Milngavie. I might, if I could bear doing it from the passenger view. If I thought I could stop in time, I would. I'd need to work out where everything was. That's quite far back, to be fair, because it's only just hit the station ramp, platform ramp. Hey. Right. Destroyed the brakes. Excellent. That was a cool run. I enjoyed that a lot. No 3 gangway. I thought they did have windows though. I was pretty sure they had. They do. This is just being daft. It's a strange scenario complete. Thing coming up in the top right. I like that. Alright guys, thank you very much. And hopefully I'll get the next episode up as soon as I can. Thanks ever so much, and again, any comments, anything at all, leave them in the description below. Cheers, bye bye.